Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back in. My name's Lee at Crypto Mainly. I'm going to make this video a lot more quick. The channel is a new venture for me, and watching myself back and listening to myself is somewhat educational, shall we say. So I hadn't realised the amount of times that I'd say the word I think I'd probably win the Olympic world record for that. And I need to try and stop doing that, and also stop rambling and try and make the content more punchy. So apologies for that. You know, it's a new venture for me, and I really appreciate you joining and subscribing. The fact that it's a new channel, please don't be put off by the fact that there's less than 20 subscribers. I started the channel on the 20th of March 2022, so 6 days old. It's all very new, so I'd appreciate you just sticking by it. You'll see, hopefully, as time goes on, that the subscribers will hopefully evolve, and you'll realise that the quality of the content is hopefully going to be, if I have anything to do with it, of a high quality. So let's have a look. Look at this chart here. This is my scribbly chart, so apologies for the amount of lines and things we've got on this one, but this is actually the chart that I use to trade on a daily basis. So smaller time frames going up to the larger ones. So this does get very busy, but apologies for that. So you'll remember that we took a trade. Where were we? We were up here on a 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 4 hours a bit clearer. So we were taking a trade here, which had a stop loss just below there, and obviously it closed out somewhere at the top there. It looks very different now, this chart, and the reason for that is because I've just been looking at this rising channel here. Now it does appear that there's a rising channel forming. That's not to say that that's all doom and gloom, but a rising channel would tend to be more of a bearish bias, which is interesting because some of you will have seen the video yesterday. So this is just a quick screenshot of what I was talking about yesterday in the video. So the video that you're looking for, if you want to look back for that, is well worth watching, in my opinion. It's dated the 25th of March. It's the late PM show. Have a look at that video. I did give kind of a broad perspective on the overall market analysis. It's definitely worth a watch, in my opinion. Just take a few minutes out of your day. The time stamp from the point that you want to watch it in relation to this particular thing that we're looking at here on the screen is 8 minutes. So 25th of March PM, the later show, from the 8-minute mark is where I'm talking about, which I'm following up from now here. So if we go back to this scenario where we were talking about this red triangle zone, again, I mentioned that in yesterday's video. I'm not going to go over it again, but people that are watching the video yesterday, they'll realise what I mean by this area and why we need to be cautious, particularly if price gets back up in there. We did mention the fact that my view on what might happen in terms of the consolidation, the bounce, and tricking people into thinking that support is going to hold, and the result of that. And the reason I mention it again is I just want to show you something. When I was watching the video, my own footage back to edit it and look through it and things like that, I noticed something actually. When we mentioned in yesterday's video that if we do get this, this breakout and then this appear to be, I did say we might get something like this where we get a breakout then come down. And the reason I mention it again is when I was watching, as I say, looking back through the editing myself, I noticed that there's another area that is of interest where I've drawn the channel in for you. But if that does break out to that level, everybody here, everybody's looking at this triangle, as I said yesterday. The breakout is confirmed. Everybody thinks yes, great. The bulls will be going long. The stop losses will be put just below, and then we'll break out of this descending resistance again. So the market will draw in the last of the people which are waiting for that confirmation of this breakout, and then once everybody is all drawn in, everybody's all going long, then we'll get this corrective move. I think that's what's going to happen. And when I was looking back through the footage, I'll come to my point in a minute. If I go, just highlight that for you. I've already drawn the channel. I've already drawn the channel in, and I'm just going to bring that up for you. But if you look at this channel, which I've noticed, if you go where the tops of the wicks there and join the wicks up, there's every chance that indeed may play out everybody's looking at the moment on social media at the same rising triangle pattern. But if this does continue, trick everybody here, break out, and then reject from this level here. So from the top of that channel, if it does reject from there, it could very well come back down, all the way back down to the bottom of support. And then people would then be saying, oh, this was actually, a rising channel formation. So it's interesting, and I know a lot of this, what I'm talking about, as I've said before, is speculation. But when you see confluence like that, and you see too many things adding to the same, that's what I think is happening. The market at the moment is tricking everybody into thinking that that's a rising channel. Into checking that that's a rising triangle, so an accumulation, bullish accumulation zone, and people will be waiting for the breakout. Oh, there we go. If I highlight the right thing, that will help. So this channel, I think, would be something which we may be looking at. If I just reduce that down to clear it out of sight for a moment. Okay, so everybody seems to be on social media looking at this rising triangle. So reaccumulation, bullish pattern. You've got the flat top and low, higher low, higher low, higher low, which is a reaccumulation. I can see that the market makers, once we break out, people will be fooled into thinking that we've broken out from this this triangular pattern. We'll find support for a little while whilst we bounce this descending resistance line here. Okay, so we'll find some resistance there, and we'll bounce along it. People will misinterpret that as being support, and the support is holding. The breakout will happen, possibly happen, above that descending resistance line there. And then when we get to the top of this channel, which we're looking at, we'll get the rejection, which will possibly could bring it all the way back down to the lower part of that, of that channel. Now, depending on when that happens, we're looking at somewhere back down to around about, let's say, if we get that rejection and we get that come down rather suddenly, you can also notice that you've got a low here, interestingly. So that wick low there could be the area that we actually retrace to here. So in terms of what price we're looking at, so this wick low here is in blue, the turquoise color there, which is 39650, so 39,650. You can imagine how many liquidations this will create if this scenario plans out, because nobody will be expecting it. So guys, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. Technical analysis is a game of trying to, based on historical performance, trying to look at the possibilities and probabilities of what will happen next, and coupled with that, you use a risk management strategy to try and make your trades successful. So you're sort of increasing your probabilities and possibilities of something playing out, and reducing your risk, or managing your risk correctly, and that's how effective traders, professional traders, work. So okay, so I said I wasn't going to ramble on, but I am a little bit, so apologies once again. If going to we looked at the dominance yesterday. The dominance was here. So we were looking at it yesterday. It was bouncing along, and we were looking like we were going to be rolling over very nicely. However, I did warn people that I thought that we may get something like this happen, which would be any kind of dominance, sort of positive action here, could be the indication that the money is flowing out of the altcoins into Bitcoin. So that means that the alts are not going to do particularly well, or they're going to pause for a while. It may feel like the market's getting very quiet again if this does actually play out in an upward direction. It may feel like in terms of the altcoin trade and things, that things get really, really quiet again. Some of the alts will look like they're losing money again. We may get a temporary pump from Bitcoin, which will be great. Possibly that will be this pump here.
Bounds.
Which would relate to this pump here, and then we get this rolling over. So you'll get the result of everybody piling their money from USDT and the stable coins and their altcoins into the Bitcoin pump, which then will correct suddenly, which will create even more liquidations, and then we will then obviously roll over, come back down to the bottom of this, 38, 39,000 level, and then we will actually then kickstart the summer alt season, which I think is coming. So I think we're in for the next 4 to 6 months. We're in March now, so April, very soon April. So we're looking at maybe 6 to 7 months, I think. There'll be sort of peaks and troughs along the way, as there usually is. Certain points of the year to look out for in terms of financial markets and how cryptocurrency relates to that, which I'll cover in a different video. But there'll be problems along the way, should we say? But I think we're in for maybe sort of 6 to 7 months of nice altcoin actually throughout the summer. And as promised, the coin for today is Rune. Now I did do a little bit of a teaser on this yesterday. The price was here yesterday, and I said I wanted to see what happened with the price over the next 24 hours. You can see that it was starting to roll over. It's actually rolled over, and it's actually found support at this level. This is what I wanted to see. This is, I was looking to see what happened here, whether the price actually came back down or whether, we got a bounce. And in fact, we've got a bounce there, and we're breaking out above this local high here as well. So, Rune has had a lot of developments recently in terms of their coin and what they, the utility for their coin. So some of you, if you Google that, you'll be able to see there's been quite some developments. But when you see a big move like this, I'm looking for some kind of pullback. Now, I wouldn't necessarily chase this candle like it is like this. What I would do, this is a little bit of a technique for you, is I would draw from the bottom to the top, and when we start to see that rolling over, then be looking at entry at some point in at the key levels: 38.2, 0.5, 61, 61.8, and dollar cost averaging into the position as we come back down. So I think that we'll probably retest back down to that at some point. We'll come all the way back down to that green, the green support bar there. If I can find my path, may get a little bit more of a pump, then come back down to the green bar, and then be off to the races, something like that, short term. And as you can see, there's quite an area there which would be the rejection point. So we've got a nice, not a nice busy area here of resistance. So that will probably be the first rejection point. It will probably come back down. As you notice when I drew my fib, then the fib level from this last low, shall we say, is the 60, between the 0.5 and the 61.8 is where this green zone is. If I drop that back down a little bit further to the the actual lowest low, if you like, from this area here, then the 0.5 Fibonacci level, the 0.55 Fibonacci level there, which is actually reads at the $6.64 mark. That's where I think I'll be looking for entry on that. And the reason I was so keen to show you this chart is on a longer term basis. If we do get this correction, we get the price come back up to the neckline. So what do I mean by the neckline? So that's what we would call a neckline. We've got a little bit of price action above where we actually tried to break out, and then we rolled over because we had the failure. So the breakout actually was a failed breakout, and then we came down significantly. But the reason I'm showing you this is if this does play out here, and then it comes back up to the neckline, the measured move from that point will actually be the low to the neckline. So this is how you'd calculate so right from the very low to the very peak of the center of the neckline. Some would argue that you can actually go from the low to the high, but if we go to the peak of the central neckline, you'll see that actually we're on the conservative side, which is always it's always worth considering. You don't want to wait till the last 1% of a price target for it to then roll over just before it gets there, and you lose out on 15% of the move and the profit because you're waiting for the last 1 or 2% of the trade. But obviously you'd be surprised a lot of people do that and lose a significant amount of money doing it. So which seems a little bit silly for me. But again, it's something which comes with you know with actual experience when it's cost you money in the past, and you think actually I'm not going to do that again, and you realise it happens to you time and time again. Then you realise actually I'll be a little bit more conservative next time, and I'll take 80-70% of the target or 80% of the target as profit, and then if it runs away and leaves me behind, then so be it. But if we go back down to this green support bar, the measure from there to the top is a 353% gain profit from this retest. If we obviously get back up to here, provided Bitcoin doesn't roll over, the market doesn't change around completely. There's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, but the fact that this project's got so much development going on, and you've got this huge bottoming pattern here, I think we're going to get this small correction. We're going to pop up, we're going to break through, and then obviously it never go. Price action never goes in one direction all the time. So you probably get this type of thing, maybe a little bit of consolidation below, bounce back up, come back down, and then bounce off, and then obviously it'll come back up. It'll consolidate again below that top neckline, followed by it will break through. Sorry, consolidate below resistance, break through, come back down, find support, and then come up and then hit our price target. This is actually the price target. What happens beyond that, it would a lot depend on the market, but there would certainly be a lot of sell pressure here because of this measured move, and a lot of people will be looking at that. So, I'd probably be looking personally, if I was taking a trade here, is watching what happens for this. If price continues to go up, I'll probably just let the trade run away from me, even if it gets all the way up to the top. Maybe you could take a trade there if it does consolidate, but there's got to be some kind of corrective move here. If you look at this side, this side of the low, the pattern here. Just bear in mind this price action for a moment. If I just show you what I'm talking about. If you were here at this stage, it looks very similar to where you were there, and you'd be thinking, yeah, it's going to keep going up, it's going to keep going up, it's going to leave me behind, and I'm not going to get my entry. And then obviously, we know what happens. We know what happens after that. So you did get your entry. You got from the low to the high there. That's somewhere around the 60% correction. You just eyeballing it. That's a 50 to 60% correction there. So something along those lines is coming. So don't get too carried away. Don't jump in quickly. Wait for your entry. Have a sensible entry. Dollar cost into your entry. Make a sensible move. Something like that, I think. But anyway, guys. Hope you found the content interesting. I made this video far too long again. I've been rambling like mad, but I do apologise for that. I will get better. Thanks, guys. Take care. Always remember, take profits and buy something real. All the best, guys. Take care. Bye now.